Open the Gates is a 2D real-time strategy game. Were you ever given a new job that seemed impossible? Well, in Open the Gates, your job is to reclaim the kingdom for the emperor that he lost. Sure, he gives you the units, some units anyway, and some advisors, but it's really up to you to build up a small town, mount an army, and destroy the enemy. The game is more on the casual, simplistic side, but I absolutely love the art and the advisors and enemies. They're cheesy, but often quite funny. Open the Gates has a definite charm to it. So, the Emperor appoints you to take over the battlefield, so he can relax and become an emperor again, all while doing nothing. And why he thinks you can handle this task is beyond me, but he already lost the lands. How much worse could you do than what he already has done? The game is broken up into individual battles. Each level is a battle, where the goal is to defend your buildings and destroy all the enemy's buildings. Even if you destroy all their units or anything else, you must destroy all their buildings to win. This might make a lot of sense, but it's best to build up your army as quickly as you can. It's also a good idea to add some walls so you can defend, but this is truly a numbers game. You must build as many units as you can before the enemy attacks, which they will do. Actually, their next attack just showed up in the top left-hand corner of the screen, so in that 1 minute and 6 seconds, they're going to attack you, so you better be ready. You start off with some very basic buildings, houses, farms, quarries, and lumber camps. Constructing the basic buildings unlocks the more advanced buildings. You must have houses to increase the population in your lands. Then you'll need to add farms to feed them and assign units to farm the land. But then you'll also need stone and wood to construct more buildings. It progresses from there all the way up to eventually taxing your citizens, because the only way you can build an army is with money. You must spend your money to get units. So it's all about getting to the taxation phase with a high enough population that the income is really rolling in. You're trying to get there as quickly but as efficiently as possible. However, keep in mind that you must keep your citizens happy. You just can't tax them into oblivion, or else they'll turn into the enemy from within and destroy your town. Those ungrateful peasants. Your angry citizens will start fires or do crimes, but you can stop them by having wells placed throughout your town or guard huts. Now, I do like the idea of this mechanic, but it is very easy to manage their happiness. I practically ignored it, which is unfortunate. It doesn't add anything to the game except that you always have to remember to place those little extra buildings. Too bad I just can't send my army after them and put them in their place. Anyway, most of the levels have you defending first, and then if you have any units left over, luckily, then you can go in on the other side and knock down some of their buildings or go in for the kill. You can always take a few stabs at their defenses in between if there's enough time before the next attack. Here's an example of me defending their attack. They came in from the right-hand side of the screen, and I had built this wall, but they just put up ladders up top so they can climb up there and try to attack my units. This one eventually goes well enough, and I fend off this attack, but more units would have been useful here. I do have Defender's Advantage, though, where any units I make, they come right out and can start attacking at my wall. And we move on to an example of me sending an attack over. You can see the enemy has a very similar setup to mine with a tower, and I want to attack it. Do note that I have a few unique units in the mix here, some archers in the back, some regular knights in the front, along with some units that use a flail. Those are especially good at knocking down buildings. So it's good to have a mix of units depending on the situation you're going into, but it's not the most important thing. If I had a lot more knights, they would definitely still overcome this wall. I really do like those little ladder guys. They charge right in without any weapon, put up the ladder, and get you to go up there and kill off all the enemies. The enemy did it to me in the previous clip, but I didn't have any this time. Although even if you do kill all the enemies on top of the tower, you still will have to destroy the tower to walk past it. Here's a silly audio clip I wanted to share with you. It's the first enemy in the game.
I am about to eat the flower of power, and you are my witness. Did it work? Wait.
Yes, it is working.
Before wrapping this up, I wanted to show you the options menu and the difficulty levels that are available here. Plenty of choices. The game also has quite a few hotkeys available if you wanted to jump around the battle quicker. You don't have to slide all the way from the left to the right, and you can control some of the enemies. Do note that you can assign unit control groups to the number keys. Overall, Open the Gates is wonderful. It's just plain great. It pulls you in with some very silly cutscenes at first, and then the simplified real-time strategy mechanics are so easy to pick up, it's such a good hook. Then it adds layers, a little at a time, to keep it interesting. Open the Gates does not overstay its welcome. It takes about 8 hours to complete 26 levels across 6 different worlds. I'm not sure this needs to be said, but this isn't StarCraft. It's really about building up the units as fast as you can, and you are not able to micro them or move them in small micro movements as much as you may like to, which is why the game has a heavier emphasis on building as many units as you can. I still recommend it to fans of real-time strategy games that want something more simplistic to play. You stuck around till the end? Thanks for watching. Click subscribe or check the Steam Curator link in the description below. See you around.